Aboard the Art Lewis Show, and lots going on. We'll have open phones during the next hour. We'll also have some during this hour, probably. And then at 11 o'clock on Focus, we will learn about the Karmanos Cancer Institute. All of that coming up, but we're going to start this hour talking about the Michigan Education Trust. And with us to talk about it this morning, we say good morning to Scott DeVerona. Scott, good morning.
Good morning, Art. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. An overview for those who aren't familiar with it. Describe the Michigan Education Trust to everyone, would you?
Sure, Art. I am the director of the MyAble Disability Savings Program, so that's what I can talk about. I can't talk about the MET program. Okay. So MyAble is a savings account for individuals with disabilities. It allows them to save money without jeopardizing their eligibility for disability-related services like Medicaid, SSI, SNAP, any of the federal or state benefit programs that they're entitled to because of their disability. Many of those disability programs are asset limited, which means that if you have too much in assets, you are eliminated from those programs. The ABLE program allows people with disabilities and their families to save money, to invest money, and to spend their money on the things that they need without jeopardizing their eligibility for those benefit programs.
Now, is this a standard account, or is the account held by the government? How do they do that?
Yeah, it's very similar to the 529 education savings program that people are familiar with. The money is in trust with the state of Michigan. I work for the Michigan Department of Treasury, but it allows them full access to their funds. The money belongs to them, but in order for the program to be tax advantaged, it has to be held with the state of Michigan or with an individual state.
So how do they access their money if it's held by the state? Is it like a checking account?
Great question. Yeah, the program that Michigan offers allows individuals to invest in a checking account option, and that checking account option has a debit card component with it. Yeah. So it's really easy to get their money out, to use their money for whatever they need, wherever they need it.
So if I'm understanding you correctly, there's no restrictions on how they use those funds?
The funds in an ABLE account must be used for what is called qualified disability expenses. But the good news is qualified disability expenses is interpreted by the IRS to be as broad as possible and includes the expenses of everyday living. So you can use your ABLE account to pay for just about anything: education, transportation, housing, health care. Basically anything a disabled person needs to spend money on, they can use their ABLE account to pay for.
So what does this do for this person in terms of other benefits?
Great question. The greatest benefit to this program is that they no longer have to worry about their benefits being jeopardized for having, quote unquote, too much money. The disabled population is the only population of people that we tell to stay broke. If they have too much money, they are kicked off of Medicaid. They have a ridiculous what's called spend down amount, which is basically a deductible for having Medicaid. The funds in an ABLE account are not counted for Medicaid eligibility. It's like it doesn't exist. So no longer do people have to have money in somebody else's name or hidden in a mattress somewhere, or even worse, having to spend it frivolously. An ABLE account can be the first step to becoming economically self-sufficient.
So where does a disabled person go to start one of these accounts? How do they do that?
Yep, you can go directly to our website. It's michigan.gov/myable. That's MIABLE. In addition to all the program information, our disclosure statement, our webinars, you can enroll right there online, and it takes about 10 to 15 minutes to enroll. We'll need a lot of demographic information, names, addresses, dates of birth, social security numbers, things like that in our secure portal. But the bottom line is people can start saving today.
And do you require proof of disability?
That is another wonderful aspect of this program is the interpretation of disability is intentionally as broad as possible as well. There are 3 ways that you can prove eligibility. if you are eligible to receive SSI or SSDI because of a disability, you're entitled. If you have a condition listed on the Social Security Administration Compassionate Allowances list, you're eligible for this program. And if neither of those first two conditions apply, if you can get a doctor to sign off a physician's certificate to say that you have a disability, you are entitled to enroll in this program. In order to enroll in this program, you must be disabled before age 26 until January. In January, that age range increases from 26 to 46. And that will increase the number of people in Michigan who are eligible for this program by a factor of 2. So it's going to double the number of people who are eligible with that age increase.
So let's say someone signs up. Is there a cap on how much they can save?
There is. There's an annual cap on how much money can be contributed into an ABLE account. This year it's $19,000. We haven't heard what the IRS is going to do for 2026, but I expect it will go up since the cost of living has increased. So I suspect it will be more than $19,000, but we haven't heard from the IRS yet. So we're waiting for them to announce that, and as soon as they announce it, we'll be ready to implement that for 2026.
So even though this is a state program, you have to operate under the IRS's rules.
Absolutely correct. Yes, this is an IRS. It's a federal program that the state administers on behalf of its state residents.
Do we know how many people are involved so far? I mean, how many people have actually signed up for it? Is it a large number?
In the state of Michigan, we have just under 6,400 accounts.
Wow.
And that is throughout the United States. You do not need to be a Michigan resident to participate in the Michigan program. We do have open enrollment, but we have about almost 6,400 accounts opened with just under $78.5 million in assets. So this is a growing program. It is a wonderful opportunity for individuals with disabilities and their families to start saving and maintain eligibility for their benefits.
Why are we taking depositors from around the country? Don't other states have the same type of program?
Many other states do have this program. However, there are individuals who, for instance, prefer our investment options as opposed to their home state. We also have a number of clients who live out of state, but their grandparents or parents live here, and they're the ones who are funding the account, and they want the tax benefit that goes with contributing to the Michigan program.
So what you talk about the tax benefit, what is that benefit? How does it work?
So in the state of Michigan, anyone who makes a contribution to a Michigan ABLE account is entitled to up to a $5,000 deduction on their Michigan income tax return. A joint couple can deduct up to $10,000 on their Michigan income tax return. So it's a great opportunity for families to contribute to the cost of a disability and give themselves a tax incentive on top of that.
So because of the broad definition of what a disability is, if someone even thinks they have a disability of any kind, they ought to get a letter and look into this.
I would absolutely recommend, in order to maintain eligibility for benefits, if anybody is worried about losing their benefits for quote unquote having too much money, this is a great opportunity to shelter those assets, maintain eligibility, and use the money for what you need it for.
So just so we understand and go back to something you said, your disability had to have been initiated prior to the age of 26, is that right?
That is correct. Yes, that's the rule today. In January, that age goes to 46.
46, which
Correct.
Will keep you really busy.
Yeah, very much so, yes. Me and my staff travel throughout the state. We talk to conferences. We talk to intermediate school district, parent groups, disability advocacy organizations. Basically, anyone who needs to know about this program, we will come talk with you. Again, on our website, michigan.gov/myable, you can request presentations, brochures. We do a webinar every month on the third Wednesday of the month, which is next week at 6 p.m. You can sign up for our webinar on our website as well. So our job is to get this information to the people that need to know it so that we can continue to help individuals with disabilities become economically self-sufficient.
And just for the last time, tell everybody again what the website is where they can get more information.
All of our information is available on the State of Michigan website, michigan.gov/myable, MIABLE.
Well, Scott, thanks for spending a little time with us talking about it this morning. We appreciate it.
Appreciate you, Art. Thanks so much for helping me get the word out.
You bet. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Scott DeVerona from the MyAble program. Something I was certainly unaware of, but an interesting program. Open phones now, right up through 11 o'clock, so whatever you'd like to talk about. We got open lines this morning at 989-752-6111. And let's see if we
GW Online poll for you.
Peace in the Middle East. President Trump has said we are very close to making a deal on the Middle East that will bring peace to the Middle East. President Trump says the United States would do everything possible to make sure everyone adheres to any deal.
Yesterday, it looked a little bleak in the beginning because the Tigers had their backs against the wall. If they had lost the game yesterday, they were done. And they were down 3-0. And then all of a sudden the floodgates began to open. One run, then another, and the game is tied. And then an inning later, add 5 more runs. And before they're done, a 6th. So the Tigers yesterday looked like the Tigers we had come to expect early in the season when they were running all over the place ahead of everybody, winning game after game after game after game, best record in baseball. This was the team that we used to see and had disappeared after the All-Star game. And it looked like they got a little of their mojo back, and let's hope that's contagious and that they take that contagion back to Seattle for Game 5 and the final game of that series. Now both teams are backs against the wall. They also got outstanding pitching from the bullpen and from the starters. So I am probably, I would say, 70% optimistic. I give them a 7 in 10 chance. And the only reason I don't give them a 100% chance is Seattle is a good team. You cannot discount that fact. They play good baseball. Good small ball. Yesterday, the Tigers played good small ball and good big ball. 3 home runs. And again, it was the Tigers we were used to seeing early in the season. And let's hope they've gotten beyond the big losses after the All-Star break, and where they lost a 15-game lead and almost didn't make the playoffs at all. Let's hope they're beyond that now and can shine here in this next game tomorrow. Let's go to the phones here. Carol is in Sheridan. Hi, Carol.
Well, I'm not in Sheridan. I'm actually in the boonies.
Okay, Carol in the boonies.
or wished I was. I could live in the boonies very easy. Very easy. One thing, the Tigers, and you just don't know what team is going to show up anymore,
Yeah.
But it was fun. And once they got going, once Green hit that 453-foot home run.
Yeah.
That's a long ways.
Yes, it is.
And one thing, I'm a nitpicker. You said the new moon. It's a full moon we've been watching.
I was a new moon, too.
Huh?
It was a new moon, too, I believe.
Okay. It hasn't been the full moon we've been watching then.
Well, it's
good.
full
You
and then
hunted up
new,
and
yeah.
see. Hunt it up and tell me.
All right.
Well, I don't have all that. I don't have all that crap on my. Well, the only thing I use my cell phones, I just keep it charged. I use it maybe once a year, and I don't have all that goodies where I can just poke a button and get all these smart things. I have to look it up or remember it or something. So, and then there's like waning gibbous and crescent and all sorts of cool things about the moon. But where we are, we're in the country. We enjoy the moon. And what happened to the smoke?
I don't know if the fires are out. I don't know.
I don't know because, we went up north, and usually up on Superior, you can almost reach up and touch the stars. They're just absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
And we see none, absolutely none, because of the smoke. And all of a sudden, I wonder if the fires got out, or it would be really cool if they did, because it was really bad. People had a hard time breathing, in places and things. So.
By the way, you were correct. This was the full moon, October 6th, the harvest moon. The new moon is October 21st.
Yeah, I think that's when it starts over. And
so you were correct. Yeah. You were right.
Oh, thank you. Well, that'll make my whole day. it might be the first time. It might be the first time in a long time.
I doubt that.
Well, it's kind of fun to follow, and people they lose so much connection with nature. And I tell you, I have a toad in the house, and he come in about 2 months ago, and I tried to get him out, and he jumped way down and hid. So I've left him alone. He lives in the windowsill, and I feed him. If I can't find Millers, he loves Millers, but you have to half kill him because he likes them wiggling, but you don't want him to fly away. And he got wayward the other day. Some days he's gone for 3 days, and then the other day we looked, and he was sitting on a clock. Clear on the other side of the room. So I went and put him back on the windowsill on a cookie sheet with unplugging the clock. It was a 50-year-old clock that's wired. And but now he's back home in the windowsill again. But and if he's squunched down, he's not hungry. If he's standing up, he wants to eat.
Yeah, and, I have 2 of them that live in my basement. Now I don't feed them, but they've been there for years, so I'm guessing they're finding food.
Well, this is a tree. This is a tree frog. You've got woody toads.
Yeah, I've got toads.
Yeah. This
2
is
of them.
This is a tree frog.
And what's interesting about these guys is when I go down in the basement to do some work or something, if they're sitting there on the floor, either one of them, they just sit there and look at me. They don't even run away from me anymore.
No. People used to have milk houses, and you always had a couple, toads. And there's Fowler and another one. And you have to there's American toad and a Fowler toad. You've got one or the other. And but people had a milk house, and they almost always had a toad in the milk house.
Yeah.
And there were quail, people that had corn bins and things, they had coveys of quail. Things have changed so much in 50 years. It's so different than it was. It really is.
That's for sure. All right.
Kind of interesting. Well, go Tigers, you guys.
All right, Carol. Thanks for calling.
Yeah.
Bye-bye now. Lines open. Whatever you want to chat about, 989-752-6111.
For generations, Saginaw Township.
And we're back with you here on the Art Lewis Show, an open line edition, right up through 11 o'clock this morning. And Carl is with us in Saginaw. Good morning, Carl.
Good morning, Art. Beautiful morning today.
A little cool, but nice.
I would like to give President Trump credit for this peace deal that seems to be coming together in Israel.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
From what I've heard, maybe he was the only person who could pull this whole thing together.
I don't know if he's the only one, but he's the one that did it. So He gets the
He's
credit.
the one that did it, yes.
Yeah.
And I'll give him credit for, if this goes through, I wouldn't count our chickens just yet.
I agree with you.
There's a lot that's still unresolved.
Well,
But
there's a lot of facets.
it
This is one of those baby steps. You got to crawl before you can run type situations. If the hostages are exchanged, and if everything happens the way this first part of this agreement happens, then absolutely more power to him. I don't know. I almost hate to say this. I don't know how much trust you can put in Hamas, but I'm also a little leery of Netanyahu every now and then, because he will do what Netanyahu thinks he needs to do to protect his country. If they both come
or
to
to protect himself.
well, he's more interested in protecting Israel. He always has been.
Well,
But regardless of that, if these two sides sit down, they sign this agreement, and they actually follow through, you're right. Donald Trump deserves the credit.
yes, and I will give it to him. I did hear about these negotiations, that the two sides are not actually in the same room. They're in different rooms, and like the negotiators, shuttle back and forth, and they say, well, they just said this, what do you say? And then they go back to the other room, they said this, what do you say? I mean, so we got a long way to go,
Well,
I think.
You do what you have to do. I mean, that's, if that's what it took, then that's what it took. I think at the signing,
we were having a discussion.
I think at the signing,
Yeah,
you'll find them together.
We were having a discussion last night about, all through history, all around the world, people have fought over areas of land. And they said, our ancestors were here 1,000 years ago, so this is our land. And then the other side would say, well, our ancestors were here 2,000 years ago, so this is our land. But why in the Middle East has it been, in Israel, why has it been so hard to come to some kind of peace? Other parts of the world have resolved these
Are you
conflicts.
asking Israel, or are you asking the others who have attacked Israel?
Well, I think there's a lot of blame to go around.
There's some, but Israel was, listen, first of all, it's not always just about land. In many cases, it's about religion. And I have said many times, over the millenniums and millenniums, we've killed more people in the name of God than anything else.
Yes.
And listen, this is 2,000 plus years of strife. And, I mean, more power to us if we can solve it. Good luck. I think it's wonderful to have peace if they're going to sit down, if they're going to exchange all the prisoners and all of that, the hostages. More power to them. Do I think that this will last forever? I'm not convinced of that. I'm not convinced of that yet. That's going to be a while. So,
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay. Well,
All right.
right.
Good enough.
Thanks, Art. Good talk.
Thanks for calling, Carl. Bye-bye now. Lines open for you, 989-752-6111. Quick Lane, Freeland, on the property of McDonald Ford, owned by McDonald Ford in Freeland. And Quick Lane is where you can think about getting tires. And not just any tire, but Michigan winter is not far away. Roads get slippery, and you really need good sticky tires. And there is a difference in winter tires from your regular tires. Here's John from Quick Lane to explain that to you.
Hello, Art. Yes, winter tires are made with a pliable rubber compound that includes silica to stay flexible and maintain grip in freezing temperatures. Unlike harder all-season tires, which stiffen and lose traction in the cold, this flexible compound allows the tire to better conform to the road surface, providing superior grip and traction on snow and ice to keep you safe.
Thanks, John. Stop into Quick Lane Freeland today. Have your tires checked out and take a look at the winter tires, which, by the way, are only $5 over cost. All the tires they sell are $5 over cost. While you're there, have your cooling system checked out, too. And while they're doing all that work for you, walk over to the McDonald lot, look at all the new Fords that are available, and their extensive line of pre-owned vehicles. They're all waiting for you at McDonald Ford and Quick Lane Freeland, two names that stand ready to serve all your automotive needs. And remember, you can buy your tires for just $5 over cost.
It's natural to have questions.
All right. Welcome back to the Art Lewis Show. And lines are open for you and will be right through 11 o'clock this morning. There's a new betting odds sheet out. They're already starting here on the next presidential election. And it's an interesting list. It includes, by the way, the current president, even though he can't run again. So these are the betting odds so far for all of those that have said they will or bettors think they will run again. Number one on the list with the best odds, J.D. Vance at plus 225. Next, Gavin Newsom at plus 450. Third, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez at plus 1,000. Two candidates at plus 1,200, Pete Buttigieg and Marco Rubio. Five people at plus 1,600, including Donald Trump Sr., Donald Trump Jr., Kamala Harris, Andy Beshear, and Josh Shapiro. And then we have four candidates at plus 2,000. Make that five candidates at plus 2,000. Wes Moore, Michelle Obama, J.B. Pritzker, Ivanka Trump, and bringing up the bottom of the list at plus 2,000, Gretchen Whitmer. Those are what current bettors are betting on. Of course, by the time the election rolls around, that list will be entirely different. It always is. And we'll have to see what it looks like. Here's John somewhere in mid-Michigan. John, good morning.
Hey, what's happening, Arthur?
What's up?
Just want to say there's hope in the world after all. After listening to Carl, I've been inspired. I'm not going to lie to you, but I was waiting for the big but I didn't hear it. So kudos to Carl.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is, I have always been this way, and I was glad to see he did that, because in my world, if somebody does something that they deserve credit for, you give it to them, even if there's someone from the opposite side, because that only strengthens your position when you criticize. So I listen, more power to him. It was well said.
Well, I always say an open mind is a terrible thing to waste.
That's good. I like that.
So, yeah. Good going. If we could have more of that on all sides, we'd be better off for that.
Oh, boy, isn't that true? I mean, I heard, was it Senator Lockwood yesterday? And I caught part of a Senate hearing, and he was talking about the fact that, there's been this lack of sitting down and talking and solving issues. And to me, what do we send them for? We send them there to do our business, and they need to sit down and negotiate. As I've said till I'm blue in the face hundreds of times, they ought to take lessons from the Founding Fathers, because they couldn't agree on very much at all, but they knew they had to solve the problems, and they did.
You got that right.
I just shake my head at the way everything is politicized today, and if you don't agree with me, you must be a bad guy and all that stuff. It's nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolute nonsense. But
well, thanks for letting me vent here. Or
anytime.
Say, boss is yelling at me. I got to get back to work.
All right, John. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.